Hello everyone, this is BKNY. I would like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. I would like to talk today about NACA. I have been lurking the internet and watching YouTube videos in regards to NACA, and I was able to get some very useful advice from many of the NACA members. So I wanted to come on here today and just share what I thought was helpful to me. Today is February 19th, 2019. We're going to start here on the NACA website. This is a very useful website. Here you can find the current interest rate. You can register to vote. You can find a PDF version of the NACA workbook if you need it. You will also get information about the upcoming Achieve the Dream event. And for those of you who don't know, the Achieve the Dream event is like almost like a one-stop shop to getting approved, and it spans a few days, and that's where I was able to get approved or become NACA approved. Yes, so that information is located here on the website. Also, you can register for upcoming workshops. Um, I would advise to, if you have not registered for a workshop, you need to do so as soon as possible. Do not become discouraged if you see that a workshop is full. It means absolutely nothing. I live in Brooklyn, New York, so the workshops fill up very fast. It's a very dense population here in the city. So when they're posted, most of them become full right away. If your workshop starts at 10 a.m., I would advise that you get there maybe like 8:30, 8:45, depending on where you live. Again, I say do not become discouraged if you see that a workshop is full. Um, just make sure you get there early because you will get a spot. A lot of people visit the site and see, okay, well, the workshops, for example, the next workshop is not until April, and they will wait until April. Meanwhile, they could have attended the one that is next week, basically, or in a few days. So yes, do not become discouraged if you see that it's filled. Like, who cares? To show up anyway, get there on time. Make sure you eat something because you're going to be waiting a little while. For those of you who live in New York, we do have some upcoming. I want to say that this is where I had my workshop, and I did so in August, in the beginning of August, and it was a church, great location. The person that runs the workshop, she is a NACA member herself. She was able to purchase her home in Long Island via the program, and she's also a licensed real estate agent. So it was a great location. Okay. Yes, so this is the NACA website. Please become familiar with it. It has a lot of helpful information. Also, if you are not aware, there are NACA forums where you can interact with different members who are in various stages of the process, and you'll gain a lot of information from the NACA forum. Now, I have composed a list of steps or items that you need to complete in order to get further along in the process, and these were steps that I personally used. I want to say first that you should request your tax transcripts. It is now 2019, and we are currently in the 2018 tax season. So, for those of you who have not filed taxes, you will need to visit the IRS website in order to request your tax transcripts for 2016 and 17. For those of you who have already filed taxes, you would need to request your tax transcripts for 2017 and 2018. I provided you with the website here so you can request those transcripts. Now you can request them via mail or PDF. I myself had them mailed to my home, and it took about 7 days to get to me. One of my coworkers opted for the PDF version and was able to download and print out in a matter of minutes. The reason that you're requesting these transcripts, from what I am being told, is they want to make sure that the information that is on your tax return matches with whatever's on the transcript. They also want to see that you do not owe Uncle Sam because he wants his money. And if you owe him, everything else has to stop. You need to pay him. So you can't move forward in a NACA process if you owe taxes. Like, they need to make sure that you don't owe Uncle Sam anything. Okay, you also need to upload your W-2s for 2016 and 17. If you have already filed 18, then you need to upload 17 and 18. Now, when I uploaded my W-2s, I have a full-time job, but then I also work side gigs here and there, and some of those are W-2s and some are 1099s. If you have various W-2s or 1099s, you need to upload them individually. The mistake that I made was that I did one bulk upload, and the counselor did not want to see it that way. They want you to upload each file by itself so that they can analyze it, not a bulk upload. Yes, so make sure you do that for the current tax year for 17 and 18, or 16 and 17. Just depends on where you are. It's better to just do this ahead of time, so then that way when it comes down to it, you're not scrambling, like you already have it. Next, I would say to request a copy of your credit report. If you are married, you and your spouse both need to request individual copies of your credit report. Now, the reason you're requesting this report is so that you yourself are able to see any discrepancies that have been reported to the credit bureaus, such as an incorrect address or late payments, delinquent accounts, just any inaccuracies, basically. You can request that report from a website here. You should not be paying for this. It is free to you. It's supposed to be free at least once a year to access all three bureaus, all reports from three bureaus. Some people like to use Credit Karma, but you might as well just use this because it's free anyway. Yeah, so that way, like I said, you can check for any of these incorrect or inaccuracies on your report. In the event that you find any discrepancies, you will need to write letters of explanation. Now, the letters of explanation are not a big deal. Like, it's literally one or two sentences. It is not a dissertation. It is not a thesis. Like, it's very simple. Very, very simple. I'm going to show you here what my counselor gave me as, wait, is this going to work? Okay, hold on. My computer's just acting a little funny. But this is what my counselor gave me as my letter of explanation. And what I did was I just wrote my name, my NACA ID, today's date, and whatever account she was referring to. So let's say, for example, it was a checking account. I put the last four of the checking account, to whom it may concern, and I literally combed from day 1 of the month of the checking account to day 30 or 31st, depending on the month. And what I was doing was checking for, like, believe it or not, what's a big deal is if you send money via Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, NACA wants to see why are you sending this money? What is the reason for you to utilize such an app? So, for example, you're at work and everyone's ordering lunch together, but one person is short $5, or maybe you're short the $5. What you would do is, send the money via Zelle or receive the money via Zelle. You need to write the date that occurred and the amount. So you would put, I don't know, February 1st, $5. And you would say, this $5 is a loan from Sarah for lunch. And that's it. It doesn't need to be anything like too explanatory, like, oh, Sarah and I are best friends and she didn't have any money, so that day I felt bad for her and I learned. No, they don't want to hear that. Just a very short to the point sentence explaining what that transaction was for. They do encourage that you don't have many of those transactions, but I mean, it's 2019. This is how people send money. So if you have it, it's no big deal. Just make sure that you are documenting that information in a form like this. Um, and I would just say make this a habit of just at the end of the month combing through your accounts, depending on what part of the process you're in. I would just comb through my accounts and check for, anything that was sent. Or for those of you who have side gigs and you receive cash, or let's say you had a birthday or graduation and you received a check, or maybe your grandmother gave you some money. I don't know. NACA wants to see a letter of explanation for all income that is not payroll. So if it's not being direct deposited into your account and it's cash or a check, they need a letter of explanation for that. Very simple again. You can say, I received $60 for shoveling my neighbor's snow, and the date. That's it. Don't give them too much because they're not asking for too much. Just give them something short and to the point. Now, make sure you sign, and I would upload this to my NACA file. Again, I do this every single month. I comb through my accounts. It's just a habit for me now. Also, when you check your credit report, again, you're checking to see if there are any mismatch addresses or addresses, however you say it. You'll hear me say both words, the word both ways. So you would need to fill out or compose a letter that's very straight and to the point. I want to give a shout out to Miss Sunshine. She has a YouTube channel here, and she also documents her NACA journey. So she was able to help me with this letter, and I filled it out as best as I could, gave it to my counselor, and it was perfect. So make sure you have the current date, to whom it may concern, the subject of the letter, your name, and your NACA ID number. Very straight and to the point. This letter is to explain the alternative address on my credit report. I have listed the addresses starting with my most recent, or with my recent. So yes, you will put your current address and with the date you moved in, ongoing. And then, I live in New York. I've lived in many neighborhoods in Brooklyn. So on my credit report, it does reflect different addresses. Some people don't move. They live the same place their whole lives until they move out to get their home. If that's the case and you only have one address on your credit report, you don't need this. But for those of you that have multiple, it's best to have this letter prepared and ready. Some addresses people only use as a mailing purpose only. You can state that. They're not going to question you. Some people, if you have moved, you can put the duration of when you lived at that address until you moved out. Same goes for your ID. If you live in one state, but your ID is from another state, or sorry, if you have a different address on your state ID than that of on your credit report, then you need a letter of explanation. And again, it's just a few quick lines, like it's nothing major. You're gonna sign, put your name, make sure you upload this to your file. Trust me, it's gonna save you a lot of headache. Back to the notes. So yes, be sure to get your LOEs, letter of explanation out the way. Request that credit report so there are no surprises when you sit down with the counselor. Please be sure to complete and upload your budget form from your workbook. In my workbook, it was page 17 and 18. In your workbook, it might be different. I don't know. But just make sure you complete that by your next intake date. I believe at the workshop they have you complete the first portion of the budget form, and then later on you'll complete the second portion, but it has to be done regardless because they want to see what you believe your spending habits are and then what they actually are at the end of the month. Also, be sure to complete your participation pledge. That's located on page 43 of the workbook. Again, your pages might be a little different from mine. And also, again, you can find this workbook online. Please upload every single bank statement from every checking account and every savings account. If you're married, that's you and your husband if you have separate accounts. Please keep at least 3 months updated on your NACA web file. A lot of people like to, again, walk with paper copies. I save mine to the cloud just in case the counselor states that it's not there. I'm able to just upload it quickly to my account. For those of you who have a smartphone, which I think it's almost everybody, you're able to take pictures of any documents that you might need and convert them to PDF and upload to your file very easily. Now, when you upload your bank statements, what I was doing, what was a mistake, was I was uploading both checking and saving under one tab. You need to upload them separately. So although you get a statement that has both checking and savings, you need to upload them twice, one into checking, one into saving, even though it's going to have the information from the other account. Be sure to do this for every single bank account. Every single bank account. Because if you try to hide it, they will find it. And if you have one of those dormant accounts, like I had an account that only had $100 in it, it's only ever had $100 in it. I had it for about 3 years. My counselor suggested that I close it because it was just a waste of time, and that was just additional paperwork that I had to upload every month, although the balance never ever changed. So if you have a debt account, get rid of it. Okay, now please make sure to analyze, like I said before, analyze your statements. Comb through and see what your spending patterns are. Again, I mentioned the Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, PayPal, however you send money. Oh, and even Apple has like a new cash exchange app built in on the phone. Make sure that you write the letters of explanation for all of those. Now, please be sure to upload all of your latest retirement statements. That could be 401k, IRA. Some people have TSP, whatever it is, upload it because the counselors like to, well, not that they like to see, but if you have it, they would like to see the amount that you have in the account because some people, not me, but some people do withdraw from their retirement account to use as a down payment for their homes. So the counselor might look at that money and count it as your minimum required funds that you need to have at all times when you're going through the home search process. Please be sure to upload all paychecks, at least a month's worth. So if you get paid every month, you need 4 stubs. If you get paid bi-weekly, you need 2. I've gotten into the habit of just automatically like uploading it. Even though I've been approved, you still need to get into the habit of just uploading. It's like second nature. You get the stub, you upload it, and call it a day. And I think even regardless of the NACA process, it is still good to have that somewhere because you never know what might happen. You know, some people lose stubs. You know, God forbid there's a fire or flood, it's not going to be destroyed. Well, if it is destroyed, you have it as a backup in a PDF form. Now, this is the topic everybody hates, student loans. If you have student loans, do not be discouraged. You can still get a home through the NACA process. You need to upload your statement showing your monthly payment amount. For those of you who are in deferment, you need to get what is called a student loan obligation statement. Even though you're in deferment, NACA would still like to see what your monthly payment will be once you come off of deferment. They factor in this amount into how much you are able to afford for your mortgage. I've seen people who have had significant amounts of student loan debt and they were able to still become qualified. Now, I will say that it is best to not have any debt. Personally, when I was going through this process, I did not have any credit card debt, any car payment, any student loans, any personal loans. I owed no one, or I still owe no one, nothing. It just makes the process easier. Now, I'm not saying that, oh, because I had no debt, like this was a walk in the park. That's not true. But I'm just saying for me personally, this just made my process a little smoother, but it wasn't a joyride. Um, you have to think about the more money that you put out is the less money that you can put towards your mortgage. And that might affect you in the type of home that you desire, right? So because you're paying Visa, Discover, MasterCard, American Express, you're paying for that new Mercedes, and you got student loan debt, plus you owe your mama money or whatever, that's taking away from what you can put into the mortgage. So that means you can't have the house that has the 2-car garage, the big kitchen, the family room, and the pool because you have all those payments. Maybe you could just have, a little house, whatever. I'm just saying, not to discourage anyone, but it helped me to not have any debt. Now my friends have been approved and purchased homes through NACA with their debt. So just from my standpoint, this is what worked best for me. If you do have credit card debts, please be sure to upload all credit card statements every single month. Make it become just second nature to do so. Um, if you are not a registered voter, you need to become registered. If you are married or you're going through this with a significant other, please be sure they are registered to vote as well. I have included the site to register to vote. Now, this is for New York because, again, I told you I live in Brooklyn. So this is for New York, but I'm sure if you just Google, like, become a registered voter, you can find it. Or, like I said before, you can find it on the NACA homepage. It was here to register to vote. Either way, make sure you become registered. Um, Once you are registered, or if you are registered, you can upload your voters registration information. I've included the link here. Again, I'm from New York, so this only applies to the New York, but I'm sure it's easy to locate for the other states. Um, don't open any lines of new credits. NACA does not want to see that. Don't do it. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth the headache. It's not worth the additional letter of explanation. And at this point, you should really only be paying your bills on time, paying down debt, and saving money. Don't let the money leave you. Like, you want this house so bad. Try to think about, instead of that new Louis Vuitton bag or the new red bottoms, maybe I just want the house a little bit more. So don't open new credit, pay down your debt, and save your money. This is a very exciting process, but it is also very, very, very stressful. It has it has reduced me to tears, believe me. But I know that in the end, it's going to be worth it. And I just wanted to just touch base with you guys to let you know what I have done. I was approved. So let me give you my timeline. I went to a workshop in August. For those of you who have not received your NACA ID, you should receive that ID maybe within 2 or 3 days of attending a workshop. Now, I went in August, but I did not receive my ID number until September. That's too long. Like, if you notice that you have not received that number in a few days, you need to call your local office. When I attended my workshop, there seemed to have been some mix up where many of us who attended that workshop did not get our numbers for a month. Take it from me. Don't let this be you. Call your local office and you'll be able to get your ID number. As soon as you get that number, make sure that you upload your documents and have it become second nature. So I attended my workshop in August and I uploaded my documents faithfully or religiously, but I was not able to get an intake appointment until February 15th, 2019, which was just last week. Remember, attended the workshop in August, didn't get my ID number. Didn't get my ID number until September, and my next appointment was not until February. I was approved though at the Achieve the Dream event in November. So please make sure if an event presents itself to you, go for it. If you have nothing to do, go for it. If you have something to do, make adjustments and go for it. So yeah, that's my story so far, or my update, and I will continue to come on here and share what I know. I just want to thank you all once again for coming to my channel. It took me a while to record this, but hey, I'm here to help. If you have any questions, please, 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 please comment below, and I will 100% get back to you and just try to help you as much as I can. At the end of the day, we're all in this together. We're trying to figure it out, and we do need the support. So please feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. And yeah, I'm here. Thank you for visiting. Bye.